Welcome back to the Freelancers Tea Break, your podcast listening for whilst you're waiting for the tea to brew. And this week I want to talk about being a bad boss. I don't mean like a badass boss or a girl boss or any of those kind of things. I mean not taking advantage of the fact that you're working for yourself and actually treating yourself pretty badly as a freelancer. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not really me. So I'm going to give you 5 occasions when we're not particularly good bosses to ourselves as freelancers. Now, the first one is not taking sick days. And this came up from a question I had in my Freelance Business Lounge membership about what to do when you fall sick. Now, if you're an employee, there is an obvious answer what to do if you're sick. You call in sick. But for some reason, freelancers don't feel like they can do that. They don't feel like they can be weak or not anything less than perfect, and they don't feel like they can call in and be sick when they're unwell. And actually, most clients are incredibly understanding because they've got people falling ill left, right and centre, especially at this time of year when everybody gets sick. So number 1 is basically that you don't take sick days, you power through, which really doesn't help, because if you power through, you're just going to take a lot longer to recover. So you need to take the time to recover and get better, and you'll do much better if you actually let your client know that you can't work on this particular day because you are ill. You're not a superhero, you don't have to keep powering through. So number 2 is you don't set work hour boundaries. You leave your job, which has required loads of commuting and loads of work hours and that kind of attitude of you have to be working through your lunch and working long hours and see who's the last in the office, all of that. And then you go and work for yourself and suddenly you're working long hours again. You just don't notice because you're doing it from home or on your own stuff. But it's really important that you set work hour boundaries. So you need to make sure you're identifying what working hours you're going to be doing and actually switching off your laptop or your computer at the end of that day and stopping work. So make sure you're very clear on what your work hour boundaries are going to be. It doesn't have to be 9 to 5. Some people do it, they start from 12 and work all the way till 7 or 8 at night. I kind of quite like doing a few hours in the morning, lunch break, a little bit of a break, and then a few hours in the afternoon and a little bit in the evening after my son's gone to bed. Work out what works for you, but set some hour boundaries and don't expect yourself to work all the hours. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So number 3. You're charging low prices. And I was listening to an Alex Beeden podcast recently, and one of her guests says that if you charge low prices, you attract bottom of the barrel clients. And these are the clients that are usually quite difficult. They expect the world for a very low price. And it's absolutely true. The lower the price, the more difficult the clients tend to be. So be a good boss to yourself and raise those prices. Make sure you're charging what everybody else is charging or even slightly more. Don't charge really low prices because it doesn't do you a favour. You get stressed out and you end up working with the bottom of the barrel clients, which is not ideal. Number 4 is you don't put yourself forward for the projects you want. So you're scared or you get imposter syndrome. But imagine if you were working for a business and you discovered that they'd passed up this amazing opportunity because they just didn't think they were quite good enough to do it, or they thought the competition was stronger or anything like that. You'd think they were mad. So you have to make sure that you're putting yourself forward for the projects you want, even if they are slightly out of your comfort zone, because you'll kick yourself if you don't, and you can't let these amazing opportunities pass you. And number 5 is you don't plan. And this is a problem in terms of the freelancing world, in that a lot of freelancers kind of go from project to project with no solid plan of what their strategy is going to be, what kind of clients they desperately want to work with this year, what their profit goals are, all those kind of areas. It's really important to have a plan as a freelancer, and it's so easy to coast and to jump from client to client, and actually that can make you feel really stressed as well because you're never quite sure where the next client is. So having a strategy and a set of goals will really help with that. Now, in the Freelance Business Lounge, I will be opening up the doors to that on the first week of December. But one thing we're going to be doing a little later in December, probably at the very end of December actually, is a goal setting session. So a live goal setting session where we'll all get together in a group call and set our goals for the next 90 days together. So if you need some accountability on that front, you should definitely come join us. And we also have loads of bits in the Business Lounge about setting boundaries, the kind of emails to send when clients cross boundaries or you feel like you need to put those boundaries back in place, how to raise your prices. There's a great email template in there for that. And there's also a course in there, how to build your confidence, which really would tackle that problem of not putting yourself forward for the projects that you want to. So there is lots in there. So that will be opening on the first week of December. It's group coaching, email templates, online courses, some fantastic interviews with lots and lots of experts, and much more in there. So you'll find all of that in the Freelance Business Lounge. But in the meantime, come join us in the Facebook group, The Freelance Lifestylers. I'd love to hear your thoughts on ways that you're perhaps not being the best boss to yourself and how you would like to change that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. To find out a little bit more about the freelance lifestyle, hop on over to freelancelifestyle.co.uk.